Hello friends, I'm Airman Grayson and I want to bring you another video about what branch you should pick if you're interested in military service. So we've got 5 branches of the military. We've got the Coast Guard, we've got the Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force. And with these 5 branches, I get asked by a lot of people, especially like friends, family, people that I know, what branch should I join? And here's the thing, you might have heard all types of different information about like some branches are better than others, etc., etc. The thing is that what branch is right for you really depends on you. Also, it depends on what branch you're able to get into. At the beginning of my military journey, I actually wanted to do the Navy and I got really close. Then I switched. I switched to the Air Force, and I'll tell you why a little later on. But here's the most important thing. Do your research. That's what I recommend. And hey, you're starting in the right place with this video. So each of the branches, I will say, have different pros and cons. And for me, I actually spoke to recruiters from 4 out of the 5 different branches. I didn't go with the Coast Guard because I knew I was interested in healthcare, and the Coast Guard is a very small branch, and all of their healthcare personnel actually get provided by the Navy. So there you go. Other than that, I probably would have tried to talk to them. But the biggest thing is this. One of the things you really want to think about is what are you most interested in and what are your strengths and weaknesses? So when it comes, for instance, to physical, like the physical aspect of things, the Army and the Marines being number 1, they have the most stringent and the most strict physical fitness requirements, and you are going to be very physical. Now, obviously, military life, it doesn't matter what branch you're in, you're going to be physical, and obviously there are certain physical goals that you have to meet. So there's that right off the bat. So when it comes to the Marines, their boot camp is the hardest, and that's just the truth. Then you've got Army, second hardest, Navy, third hardest, Air Force, fourth hardest, and the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard is kind of like somewhere in the middle between, I'd say, the Navy and the Air Force. Obviously, none of these boot camps are easy, but I'm talking about from a perspective of just like the sheer length and physical aspects of it. So that's one thing that you really want to think about. You know, for the Marines, for example, you know, for their PT test with the Marines, you got to run 3 miles in full uniform. Army, it's 2 miles, and then for, you know, the Navy and the Air Force, it's 1.5 miles. So there you go. Regardless, you got to make sure you're physically fit, but that's something you really want to think about. The best way to figure out what branch you should join is to talk to recruiters from each of the branches. Now, you don't even have to go into an office. You know, all of the branches, they have virtual chats that you can do. You can just go to their website and just do like a virtual chat. Obviously, you know, watching videos about it is good. So how did I choose? Okay. I, at first, just went with the Navy because my dad is a Navy veteran, and I'm thinking, yeah, Navy, cool. But here's the thing you got to think about. Do you want to spend time on a ship for 4 to 6 months at a time? And when I thought about that, that was the turning point. And I realized I actually really love planes. I also really didn't like the idea of being on a ship for that long. So that's something you want to think about, you know? Also, what branch you might join might be dependent on what kind of contract you can be offered. I always tell people, don't be completely married to the idea of just one branch. You really want to check out all the branches. And like I said, I literally went in and spoke to an Army recruiter, Navy recruiter. I did speak to a recruiter for the Marines, and you know, the Army. You know, I spoke to you know, like I was saying, 4 out of the 5 branches. I knew right away the Marines wasn't for me. You know, and this was a couple years ago that I did the Marines, talked to the Marines, but they were actually the first military branch that I talked to. So when I was deciding, it really came down to Army, Navy, and the Air Force. And that's another thing, medical waivers too. If you have certain health things, like I have a pen in my left foot from a childhood accident, I was able to get a waiver for it. And I was actually kind of going back and forth between the Navy and the Air Force, trying to see who would give me the waiver first. So that's another thing that you might want to consider. Traditionally, the Army is the best at giving waivers for different things. So that's why I'm saying, and you obviously want to be honest with your recruiters. You want to say, listen, I'm interested in several different branches. That's why I say do your research. Also, the type of contract that is offered. The contract that I was going to get that I got from the Air Force was, in my opinion, much better than what I was going to get from the Navy. Plus, I was guaranteed to get the job that I wanted, which was aerospace medical technician. I knew I wanted to be a medic. With the Navy, it just wasn't guaranteed. So a lot of the times, it's the timing as well. Obviously, with COVID, things are a little crazy right now. But so that's what you want to think about. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Okay, how physical do you want to get? You're going to be physical regardless, because this is the military. So you're going to have to exercise. You're going to have to get fit. But, you know, are you more of a intellectual person, or are you more of a physical person? You know, what are your strengths and weaknesses? These are all things that you really want to think about. So these are just some things that I have heard. Okay, the thing is that, you know, and like I said, you know, we're all in this together. They say, you know, one team, one fight when it comes to the military. So all the branches, we all work together. So that's something important to remember. So like I was saying, you know, I will say with the Marines, I remember when I was at MEPS, and, you know, you have to share a hotel room with somebody. Usually it's an overnight trip because there's so many things you have to do at MEPS. Military Entrance Processing Station. That's where you get your physical, your drug test, you know, you take the ASVAB, all that other good stuff. A lot of the people who were doing the Marines, they were doing it because their family, somebody in their family had done it. And the guy I had to bunk with, he was crying. And I've heard this a couple times from different people. He was terrified. He actually didn't want to do the Marines. So that's another thing. Really think before you sign that contract, because you are giving the next 4 to 6 years of your life to the government. Okay, it's like you're getting married to the government, and you really want to think about if, you know, what works for you. I will say that, you know, the Marines I've met, they seem to be split. I'd say about 50% of them loved it. Another 50% of them couldn't wait for their contract to be over. That's just my limited experience. Now, with the Army, people either seem to really love it or hate it. With the Navy, I found that most of the people in the Navy tend to like it, and most of the people in the Air Force tend to like it. Like I said, that's just been my own limited experience. Like I was saying, you want to talk to people, you want to do research, you want to talk to the different recruiters, but also don't just talk to the recruiters. Talk to people from each branch, and that's another thing that I did. I talked to people from every single branch, okay? I went on Reddit. I also, through my older brother, through some friends, I talked to people who were in the Army. I talked to people who were in the Navy. I talked to people who were in the Coast Guard. I talked to people in the Air Force and the Marines. So that's something that you want to, you will feel what's right for you. But like I was saying, don't just go and join a branch because that's what your mom or dad did. That's a good reason to keep up tradition, but still, you're doing military service. Even the fact that you are even trying to get into the military, guess what? That is honorable. That is honorable. You know, and God bless you. That's an honorable thing. So think about what's going to make you, what's going to be the best fit for you. That's really the best advice that I can give. And I can obviously speak to the Air Force. I feel that, so far I've really enjoyed it. I felt that I've been very well taken care of. There definitely been some hard times, but overall, it's just been a really great experience for me, and I'm really glad that I did. I think I could have been fine in the Navy, but I had to do what I felt was the right thing for me. And in my gut and my heart, especially after talking with different recruiters and different people who have been in the different branches, I made the decision to go with the Air Force. But I know some people, they they actually switch. Some people switch. Some people do switch from the Air Force to, you know, the Army or to the Navy. One thing to keep in mind is that if you want to go from the Air Force to, say, the Army, you're going to have to do boot camp again. Whereas if you go from the Army to the Air Force, you won't have to do boot camp again. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can switch branches, but you're going to have to wait until your contract is up. And I have noticed more people going from the Marines and the Army to the Air Force. Haven't met anyone from the Navy to the Air Force, but I have met a lot of people who have gone from, you know, like we're saying, from the Marines and the Army to the Air Force. And a lot of them said that they feel that in the Air Force they get treated better. But like I said, that's within my own limited experience. You know, these are, you know, a couple dozen people that I've talked to, because I do love to talk to people about their experiences. So in a nutshell, here's how you want to choose the branch that's right for you. Like we were talking about, talk to recruiters, or at least chat with them online or something, from every single branch. Go to the website of each branch, do your research, and then also try to talk to people. You know, there are a lot of online forums, like Reddit's really good. I did a lot of research that way too. YouTube's great as well. And then really ask yourself, you know, what's going to work for you, right? Because you want to make sure you're making the right decision. This is not something you want to rush. Do not rush. Do not feel pressured to sign that contract. Take your time, okay? So I hope this video helps. I'm going to be dropping some more videos that are helpful. Please subscribe, give this a like if this was helpful for you, and also leave questions below. I love reading comments. I'll try to help you guys in any way that I can with any information you guys need. So that's going to do it for now. Thank you so much for watching. And hey, Happy New Year, happy 2021, and God bless. Take care and be safe.